Justice Department has an inquiry over whether Matt Gaetz had sex with an underage girl.
I absolutely want to go back to the America where women couldn't vote.
This is Mark Robinson.
Is it ironic that orgies, underage girls, golden showers, and pervy online posts might be the thing that brings Trump down?
Sex charges against me.
Ironic? No. Poetic?
Goddamn right.
So let's start with the latest on Matt Gaetz and his junior high sweethearts.
The New York Times is running a story that I have traveled with a 17-year-old woman, and that is verifiably false. People can look at my travel records and see.
That was then, but now witnesses, including his ex-girlfriend,
I
have sworn that Matt Gaetz was at the party with naked underage girls plus booze, coke, and ecstasy. Now that sounds like a hell of a party if you're 16, but not if you're a sitting conservative congressman who preaches morality and is facing federal charges under the Mann Act for transporting minors across state lines for sex. Throw in that Matt Gaetz is also a sexist dick, and, well, you get the picture.
The women with the least likelihood of getting pregnant are the ones most worried about having abortions. Nobody wants to impregnate you if you look like a thumb.
Technically, Matt Gaetz is still MAGA, but those close to Trump see clouds on the horizon for Rapey McForehead, and they're all trying to stay clear. But I have left out the one creep who might just bring tiny fingers down. His name is Mark Robinson, and most days, the dude makes Trump look like Timmy from Lassie, and he's running for governor of North Carolina.
I absolutely want to go back to the America where women couldn't vote.
This is Mark Robinson. He's currently the lieutenant governor of North Carolina, and he's running to be governor. This resurfaced clip recently went viral, but it's just one of the many, many terrible things he's said over the years. Robinson's career started with a viral pro-gun speech after the 2018 Parkland school shooting.
I'm the majority.
He repeatedly mocked the tragedy on social media, calling survivors spoiled little bastards and media prostitutes. Robinson's Facebook is also full of anti-Semitism, like quoting Hitler, denying that 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust, and even declaring that Black Panther was a satanic Marxist film created to pull the shekels from black people's pockets. Keep in mind, his opponent in the gubernatorial race, Democrat Josh Stein, is Jewish. Robinson has also frequently ranted on social media about how being gay is a filthy abomination, equating it to pedophilia and suggesting it will bring about the end of civilization as we know it. And he's preached in sermons about how the pride flag makes him sick, calling it a direct spit in the face to God Almighty. He supports book bans to prevent teachers spreading their perverted agendas and says that schools shouldn't recognize the rights of queer and trans students.
Ain't but two genders.
Now, this may come as a shock, but Robinson also has some extremely beliefs about women. He said Christians should be led by men instead of women, and yes, he fondly reminisced about the time when women couldn't vote. He also supports a 6-week abortion ban and says Planned Parenthood has blood on their hands. So how did someone this terrible win the GOP nomination for governor? Well, because he was endorsed by Donald Trump, of course. This one guy could actually influence the entire election. How? Well, North Carolina is not a deep red state, so there's a chance that in the general election, moderate voters come out in droves to make sure this dude doesn't run their state.
And yes, Trump still has his back. I mean, of course he would.
He's been an unbelievable Lieutenant Governor, Mark Robinson.
This is Martin Luther King on steroids. I think you're better than Martin Luther King. I think you are Martin Luther King times 2.
Mark Robinson, he's out there, he's fighting. He's fighting. He's a great one. I want to thank a very good man, and he's in there fighting. He's fighting, and we know he's a fighter. The next governor of North Carolina, Mark Robinson.
Once Republicans elected Donald Trump, the sort of pearl clutching over things like porn, infidelity, threats of violence. I mean, Republican Party already said that was all fine for Trump. And so the fact that he is just trafficking in the same thing, he feels like he has complete immunity.
So is she right? Could Robinson's sweaty fat ass bring Trump down in North Carolina and nationally?
All right, the stunning K-File report about the message board postings from this man, North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, the Republican nominee for governor, on a porn messaging board has really rocked the political world this morning. The key question, what impact will this have on the presidential race? North Carolina, a very important state. Well, there's one man who can answer that question. Senior data reporter Harry Enton. Let's talk about the potential impact of this.
Yeah, all right. So let's just take a look at where we are in the polls in North Carolina. Look, It's as close as you can be in the presidential race. It is a tie right at this particular hour. In the governor's race, even before this scandal rocked everything, the Democrat Stein was ahead by 10 points. So the bottom line was, look, Mark Robinson was very likely to lose this race even before the scandal. Now he's more likely to lose this race. So let's talk about the tie in North Carolina and the importance of that state in this election. All right, so this is the chance of winning the election if you win North Carolina. The bottom line is this. If Kamala Harris wins in the great state of North Carolina, she's got a 95% chance of winning the election. There are many maps in which she can win the election without North Carolina. That's less so for Donald Trump because he has only a 77% chance of winning the election if he wins in North Carolina. So the bottom line is, must-win state much more for Donald Trump than it is for Kamala Harris.
And this is according to Nate Silver on his Silver Bullet messaging board. He talks about the importance of every state, what state would be a tipping point here. Obviously for Harris, if she wins that, likely to win. Trump a little less so, but still pretty important to both.
Still pretty gosh darn important to both. And, when we talk about this story and how much of an impact it could potentially have, look, this is an immediate measure. Google searches for Mark Robinson through the roof since the K-File story came out. Look at this. Up over 8,000% nationally, and even in the great state of North Carolina where they were searching for him more than they were nationally, it's up nearly 4,000%. So the bottom line is this is a scandal that could definitely have a big potential for impact in a very important state in the presidential election, John.
Interesting this is less, though, because they know the idea would be they already know what's going on down there.
They were already searching for him. Not big surprise. People in North Carolina were more interested in that gubernatorial race before this scandal than folks nationally. But now the folks nationally are certainly interested, and that's part of the reason why we're talking this morning about it.
As I said at the top, there's no irony here that Republicans could be brought down by the very thing they preach against because they're so full of shit when it comes to morality, and it's never been so obvious as it is with Trump. Trump has said horrible things about women for years, and his attack on Roe...
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman.
Yeah, there has to be some form.
And Trump's support for Project 2025, where under a Trump presidency, states could monitor women's pregnancies and abolish laws protecting women from sexual harassment in the workplace. Well, it's no wonder that Trump supports Robinson, and that's why Robinson isn't quitting. But North Carolina isn't the old red South. The South is changing. A Democrat won the governor's race in Kentucky, as a Democrat did in Atlanta, winning the Senate seat. And Georgia in 2018 elected 2 Democrats to the Senate, an African-American and John Ossoff, a Jewish American. So it's understandable to look at North Carolina and ask yourself, can Robinson hurt Trump? Robinson haunts these pervy online sex sites, saying things I can't repeat here. Okay, close your ears. He calls himself a black Nazi and a perv, and backs up that he likes tranny porn and women with animals. Now, I'm no mind reader, but how can a person vote for his Democratic rival and then vote for Trump? I don't see it. And that's where this is headed. And if that's not enough, throw out the pervy sex, and you still have Trump saying this guy is twice what Dr. King was. Here's Martin Luther King Jr.'s son.
I don't ever like to say that somebody is crazy or demented, but that was the first thing. This person is way off their rocker.
Robinson, like Trump, continues to offend African Americans.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black.
Look, the Republican Party has a long list of racist and creepy pervs, going back to the Congressional Page scandal, to Jerry Falwell Jr., to Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, etc., etc. But the tipping point might be right here. North Carolina and the rest of Red America have had enough. It may have taken them 8 years to realize the truth, but realize it they have done. Robinson may be a black Nazi, but Trump is a human STD, and the cure gets clearer every day.
First of all, it's important to remind the former president you're not running against Joe Biden, you're running against me. I'm ready, let's go.
Damn right. This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
Trust me.
Shut the f*** up, Dan.
Who's with me?
Oh, yeah, the lie.
Indictable.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Tick-tock!
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.